a winner. Pay the front line, take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4 fours to point, want 4. Ace, deuce, scrap, 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 want 4. Ace, deuce, ace, deuce, scrap, want 4. Scrap, want 4. Who wants the hard 4? 5 wants 4.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
So funky.
Play 6.
It's incredible.
Well, thanks, and hello and welcome everyone to the playoffs of the 2023 Summer DRRT. We have 8 alliances we have selected on Discord over the past few days, and now let's go through them all before getting started on the bracket. Alright, who is the first alliance in our list here? This is
Doomstar.
And yeah, this is Doomstar's alliance, featuring who?
Looks like Doomstar, VCSD, and is that Runner?
That's
Yeah.
Runner. Alright, yeah. So, Doomstar's alliance is alliance number 2, began picking second, and is captained by Sumplecrum. But what do I think is going to happen with this? So first of all, I see 2 big freaking bricks that are good at staying alive for a long amount of time, but don't move particularly quick, at least compared to a thing like that. And a thing like that is gonna, I think, help this alliance form a strategy, right? These 2 big ships are gonna sit there while Runner hits the ships that are distracted, while the other 2 ships also score some kills. Any other insights, folks?
Really here we're seeing 2 large tank kind of designs, really far offset cores from the weapons. One of them looks rather familiar. And yeah, I think this will be a good tank and spank combo.
Thumbs up. Again, that is Doomstar's alliance by Sumplecrum.
Something I would like to point out before we go away, Alex just pointed it out. This alliance has plenty of HM1s, a nice healthy smattering of them, which means if you don't have point defense, you're going to have a bad day. If you do have point defense, this fleet is already at an inherent points disadvantage. Something to consider. Especially for a small ship alliance, this is scary.
Indeed. All right. Well, yeah, that's an interesting piece of insight. Missiles are dangerous, and that is Doomstar's alliance again by Sumplecrum. All right, moving on. Who's our next alliance in this lineup? It is.
This is Hellfire Barracuda's alliance. We've got Hellfire itself, Bricator, and More Hate Than Blood.
All right, and this alliance, well, you can see that it has a brick on it, a very high health object that did very well in the playoffs. Well, a similar version did very well in the playoffs last tournament, also by skill. And, well, my thought is that, well, we've got a good ship diversity, I suppose. You've got a pretty quick little kiter that has a huge amount of damage, and a couple of slower ships that stay there as distractions. This one is particularly slow and very bad at turning, so it'll not move very frequently at all compared to this one or that. And so all 3 ships could distract for each other in a way, in an interesting way. I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
I'm thinking that it's a very interesting lineup of ships here. They're all broad breath. Every one of them's carrying HM1s. Very interesting. I think that the logic behind this was definitely to give Hellfire ample opportunity to get shots in without taking any fire itself. And I think we'll probably be seeing that.
Yeah, you can definitely trust Hellfire to be shooting. More hate than blood flows in my veins. Is pretty angry shit that likes it can take a fair beating. Deal one.
Yeah, right. And yeah, so that's interesting. I hope to see this alliance do well. Again, this is alliance number 8, picked by, I think, a first-time competitor to DRRT, which is cool. And, yeah. Shall we move on to the next alliance?
Yes. Oh.
If you want, I have things to say. If you don't, it's
yeah.
all good.
Go for it, sir.
So, this is a classic tank plus kiter plus anti-kiter. It's well balanced. Something that I think is really important to note. Look at all of those HM1s. This fleet really relies on HM1s to do a lot of damage. So again, point defense is going to be something that you want to bring on your alliance. If you do, you're going to cancel out a good chunk of weapons on this fleet.
Yeah. All right. Well, interesting. Again, that is Hellfire Barracuda's alliance by Lucifer. All right. Moving on to our next alliance. This is picked by Duke Slayer with Helio as the captain. Why don't you get into this, Duke Slayer?
Yeah, I've got Helio, Unstable Mayfly, and Dweest on my alliance. Each of our ships are from the Big Bang faction, and that's exactly what we plan on doing.
Cool. All right. Anything else, folks?
Yep. This ship has an incredible amount of DACA on it. Yeah, I see a lot of antimatter. I see a lot of long range. If you didn't bring an anti-kiter with you, this is gonna be rough.
I agree with that one. These ships, again, Big Bang, fast, small, light, long range, high splash, deadly stuff, and a good variety of them too on this alliance.
I can't help but notice though that this is one of the Bursty is actually a good pick against, because as we've noticed, Bursty is slightly underpowered. An alliance like this, much cake taking out with just one burst.
Yeah, that is true. The low health of this alliance, with its primary defenses being shields, and using mostly just Tinkeril armor, yeah, Bursty would be a really good way to kill these things. So yeah. Alright, well what alliance is that again? That's right, it's Innuendo's alliance. Well, no,
That's correct.
It's just called Innuendo. Alright, well, let's move on to our next alliance, and this is Project Lionfish, picked by Splinter.
Yes, we've got Cone Warrior, Rectangular Block, which we didn't see in the qualification matches, and Pharaoh.
Indeed. So I'm looking at this and I'm seeing 2 Bursty ships and 1 Brad's Brawlers ship. So our Brad's Brawlers is a very good brawler. It is has a very, very high DPS with all of those Avengers and Immobilizers pulling the ship in nice and close. And a ship like that with close range and not much speed, coupled with 2 ships that are much faster and have lasers, long-range lasers, for taking out light little ships that are annoying for a ship with low range, you know, that's not a bad combination, I think.
Yeah, all of these ships have some options to fight against very lightly armored fast ships. I think Cone Warrior's got some of the lasers that pull you in from the Borg, and the rest of them have very high damage bursty lasers.
Yeah.
I am definitely scared about this matchup for Innuendo.
All
By the
right.
way, am I still cutting out?
We'll find out.
We'll find
soon.
out.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a sort of Wi-Fi issue with one of us. I'm really not sure.
Not sure, but all right. Why don't we go over to you, Kaboom, for some analysis?
Yeah, so this fleet barely has point defense. It has arguably just enough to keep its big health ship alive, while its 2 bursty ships, hopefully, avoid the deadly HM1s, or destroy them, respectively.
Yeah.
That's really the big thing that I have to note here, just because of how many HM1s we've seen chosen in the alliances so far. Otherwise, you covered it, Debris. These ships should work well together simply because you've got Bursty to deal with any kiters that would give your tank trouble, and you've got your tank to deal with just about everything else.
Yeah, thumbs up. That, again, is Project Lionfish, picked by Splinter. And let's move on to our next alliance, which is Slow Zone's alliance, or the Grow... What is it called? The Grow Zone.
The Grow Zone.
All right, why don't you get into it, Kaboom? It's your alliance, after all.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
So, with a beautiful black and green color scheme, you see the Grow Zone, alliance that relies heavily on that first pick there. Slow Zone gets distracted. It's a little special sometimes, and when it gets distracted, it gets killed. So, my logical reasoning was, why not pick a ship that's faster than Slow Zone, so that the ships will either get out of the way if they're fast enough, or will get stuck on that first big brawler. And then Slow Zone can pick away any ships that manage to get away, or it can come in and deal massive damage to whatever is giving Yenyu's ship trouble. And then I picked Velatica because, the last thing that I need is point defense, which Velatica doesn't give, but it's okay. Velatica
Hey, I have some.
acts as my
I gave a bit of point defense.
All right, you come with a bit of point defense. Awesome. And the real important reason why we want Velatica on this alliance is we need a bursty. We need to pop ships that manage to outspeed us. We need something to take out Runner effectively, and Velatica has shown that it can take out Runner. So
another thing that Velatica does, is that it also circles around the arena borders. This is often not helpful, but in these circumstances that it is helpful, it can draw kiters away, it can kill kiters, it can bring brawlers away from Slow Zone so they get distracted, so Slow Zone can't get distracted, which means that it's generally a pick in Slow Zone's favor. But if Velatica gets killed early on, then it's just proving itself a liability.
All right, thumbs up. Well, that is the Grow Zone picked by Kaboom. And that, again, is alliance number 1, with Slow Zone getting a ranking score of something above 3, which is unbelievable.
something above 3.5, man.
Crazy alliance. All right, well, let's move on to our next one, which is what?
This is...
We are Schlesian.
Yeah. We've got Schlager, Anti-X, and ISI NES.
All right, yeah, and so I'm thinking, well, this alliance looks like it's got a pretty diverse selection. A very effective and reliable Schlager right here, a little kiter, partnered with one of the more reliable brawlers and one of the more reliable bursty ships, make this alliance pretty scary at a first glance, I think. This ship is a pretty good brawler. It's got its cannons on the far left and far right of its thing, and it's able to turn around from a state that most ships that are from this faction can't, right? This is a pretty good brawler. And so I just think, oh, there's your distraction. There's a ship that destroys the ships that like to take out distractions like this, and here's a ship that kills the ships that are distracted on this. But that's all I see. How about you, Kaboom?
Honestly, I can't say much different. We've got rock, paper, and scissors all in one fleet. So long as they spawn correctly, things will go nothing but well for this alliance. The one thing that I fear for this alliance is you've got 2 speedy ships and 1 slow ship. If the speedy ships spawn in front, and if the speedy ships go too close to something that they shouldn't, they will die, and all of a sudden this alliance could fall apart. Each member plays a crucial role. It's a delicate balance, and it needs all 3 members to function.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's... Well, again, that is not Anti-X's alliance. It is We Are Schlesian, picked by Luix, who I'm not sure if he's ever been a captain before, but if it's the first time, then, well, congratulations. And,
Turbo. Tentrabo is an alliance.
Oh, that's freaking right. I can't believe I forgot that. That's Tentrabo. Anyway, yeah. Second time captain, then. Yeah, anyway, we are Slegion, picked by Luex. Next alliance, who have we got?
This is Alliance at Home, picked by Slowk. We have Tinkerle at Home, the Angry Ant, and Trungle.
Yeah, cool. So this alliance, first things first, you can tell there's one ship that is a lot heavier than the other two. Unlike some other alliances where there's like one light ship, and then there's one big brick, we got one big brick and two light ships. And this brick isn't even a Brad's Brawlers faction ship. It's going to be a little lighter and probably more agile as well, with its higher than 500 max acceleration forward and its closer range strange weapons. But other than that, I think that these two ships are going to act on distractions caused by this, and this thing is going to surprise some people with what it can do. It's those mortars. Let's check them again. Those mortars are ripple fire bound to left mouse in the front. And so it's going to use those for most of its combat, and it's going to use them as ripple fire. And ripple fire mortars are remarkable, as we demonstrated in the qualifications. So, yeah, that's interesting. Any other insights, folks?
Yeah, I think with those mortars and I believe phasers on Trungle, it's going to rush forward, grab the attention of most alliances, and probably throw some punches. And then we all know that Tinkerle at Home is taken many names, but it definitely pulls lots of damage out of those antimatter cannons. And the Ant is a little more maneuverable version of that same idea.
Noticing also that in this alliance, there aren't actually any like fully slow ships. Every ship here is sort of fast in its own way, knowing that Trungle has a lot of forward acceleration. But I wouldn't say necessarily that that's a bad thing at all. If a ship of a lot of fast ships, whereas obviously Trungle is quite tanky, but that means that it's got kind of the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't notice that at first. Yeah, all these ships are pretty fast. It's a good point. But
that's what I was going to point out, is this entire fleet sets a tempo, and it does not quite fall into the pitfall of the previous fleet because of that. What's going to happen is we're going to see, no matter the spawning position, a consistent opening, if you will, where the two kiters will rush in. They're faster than Trungle, but then they'll stay at a distance because of those antimatter cannons. They'll stay far enough away for long enough that hopefully Trungle can get there in time and start dealing insano amounts of damage. Hopefully to some distracted and hopefully turned ships. If the ships turn, they'll be exposed to a very angry Trungle, and we'll get to see the Dorito eat some things, which that's what we always want. However, this ship, Trungle, and its entire alliance are a bit on the lighter side. So if this strategy fails them, they're not going to be able to rely on a solid health pool. They'll just get outlasted.
yeah, Yeah, well, that's an interesting set of points here. Well, this is a pretty unique alliance compared to the other ones with its composition, and thank you all for your insights. Now let's move on to our next alliance. Again, that is Tinkerle at Home's alliance. Uh-oh. I didn't name that right. That's because this hasn't been renamed as a file. That's okay. This is called Alliance at Home. All right, let's move on to the next one. Our final alliance. All 8 have been, well, introduced so far, and here's our last one. It is called Novakill, picked by Bluefish, with its captain Destartes, Gamma Ray next up, and Interesting. All right, any insights, folks?
Yeah, we've got tank, good distractor, and we've got a Big Bang faction here last up to take advantage of all of those other ships doing all the heavy lifting. It's another fleet that is spanning multiple factions and doing multiple jobs. I think this is quite a bit like that other alliance. Shoot, what was it? 2 up from here.
This one.
Yeah, that one. The Legion one.
I agree with that. It's a good comparison. I talked out of turn. Why don't you go, Salmon?
Oh wait, I meant to speak words, English, literacy. No, yeah, I will pass my turn.
All right, sorry. But yeah, anything else, Kaboom?
Yes.
Mm.
So, what we're doing here is, again, similar to the other alliance. We've got a very carefully constructed fleet. Destartes is interesting because I would call it a medium brawler, not by any means a heavy brawler. It is very, very good at killing light ships. It seems to be specialized in that. But against harder targets, it seems to struggle in a drawn-out brawl just because it doesn't have the armor of some other ships. It sacrifices that armor for speed, a speed that has really done it well in the qualifications so far. Meanwhile, on our other sides of the alliance, we again have some relatively fast ships. We don't have anything that's excessively speedy, so this alliance may struggle to keep pace with some of the faster fleets, but what it does have is a lot of survivability in these other 2 ships. These ships have known to just live longer than they should, longer than they reasonably should.
Yeah, well,
As much as
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you were going.
As much as I love Gamma Ray, it has not necessarily proven itself to be a killer. However, the ship right next to it has both of the ships next to it. It's a good pick for this alliance simply because it has, on rare occasions, managed to actually execute a hard target. That's something that this alliance needs. Further, the ship to its right, I forget the name, has also been known to... Interesting, thank you. Has also been known to execute harder targets. So we've got kind of a delicate balance here. If Destartes can last long enough, its alliance partners will kill whatever it's fighting. If Destartes doesn't need to do that, then whatever it's fighting will just get eaten instantly and not be a threat to the rest of the alliance. Really, there are 2 halves to this alliance. I guess I've talked a lot, but to drive the point home, on the one hand, we have Destartes, which, if it can last long enough, is kind of the crux point of this fleet. It's hopefully the anvil that the enemy fleet will be broken on. And then on the other half, you have these 2 very survivable ships, which are a really good backup if Destartes goes down to win on points. They may not necessarily kill anything without their flagship, but they may survive long enough.
I remembered how to speak. I was just going to point out that while you say that Gamma Ray doesn't have the greatest track record for killing, you say that this fleet isn't the fastest, but I've found, obviously not excessively fast, but they are fast to a certain point. So Gamma Ray especially has a lot of thrust in there. It can close in, and I also had something else to say. I've forgotten. Wait. Oh yeah, Gamma Ray has a lot of point defense. As you notice, some of the previous factions use a lot of HM1s. And what does Gamma Ray have? Every single laser, I think, is set to point defense. That's good. That is exactly what you want to see against a pool full of HM1 spammers, which are going to be kiting you to go to hell and back, call choose. So that's not how you speak. That is building on... Wait,
continue, Sam.
No, I was going to say, building on that, that's something you really want, especially for a fleet like this. A medium ship like Destartes is really, really vulnerable to HM1s. Going off of that idea, this alliance, I think it will either win or fail, depending on how well it sticks together. Because the moment these ships spread out, they're so weak individually. Individually, they just won't survive alone. but together, apes together strong, okay?
Thumbs up. All right, well, that right there wraps up our alliance introductions and Acquainted Fowl. I guess people already explained to you what was going on, but you didn't miss very much. All we did was look at all of the alliances in some more detail before we get the very first playoffs match started. And what is that?
Should I start the bracket?
Yes.
Alrighty. The first one off in round 1, we've got the Grow Zone up against Hellfire Barracuda's alliance.
All right. And let's get this first match. Sorry, again, this is rank 1 alliance versus rank 8.
8. Yes.
I'm so anxious.
Me too. Me too.
All right, well, let's get the playoffs of the 2023 Summer DRRT started.
And it's best out of 3, right?
Sure is.
Oh boy.
Starting us off,
Velatica.
Velatica.
You see how much hull that Hellfire Barracuda doesn't have. I know that Velatica can kill Hellfire Barracuda in just 1 hit, and there it did that.
The brick is stuck inside of Slow Zone. Ooh, but More Hate Than Blood gets stuck on the side of Furnished.
And Slow Zone eats the last target on Hellfire Barracuda's alliance. And that's round number 1. Let's move on to round number 2. Have you got your data entered in, Declare?
Not a single ship on the Grow Zone dead.
Yep.
All
Wait,
right.
that is the first time Velatica survived a match.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, it
kidding.
is.
Well,
Oh my god. And we got
Yeah.
a kill! Woo!
Leonard, Slow Zone's no joke. Those plasma mortars do work.
And they sure do. All right, Velatica coming in. Ooh, getting taken out by weapons from Yenyu before it could deal damage.
But it does still serve as a... Oh, my Alexa's going on.
much better start here for Hellfire's alliance. But More Hate Than Blood is really tied up in between those two brawlers.
Yeah, and I'm also noticing even though Velatica died, it still bought the other two some time, which means that if Slow Zone can... no.
Missiles?
If Slow Zone can turn itself around, even though it's trying to butt shit right now, it's got itself enough time to close in, and maybe it can't save Furnished, but it might be able to save the day, killing Brickatron, which definitely has a firepower to do, and maybe even Hellfire Barracuda, though that thing is pretty fast.
Ooh,
Furnished
but
down.
missiles
This
in
is
the
looking
back.
very good for Hellfire's team.
Furnished is blocking the way for Slow Zone to eat the brick.
Slow Zone is firing its cannons and its recoil is pushing it back as missiles destroy the core. Hellfire's Barracuda's alliance wins the second round.
And you have that problem with Bursty, as you noticed with Velatica. It's inconsistent. It could have killed Hellfire Barracuda, but you can never count on things like that. Unlike a consistent ship like Slow Zone, it is what it is, and it kills what it kills.
Indeed. But now let's decide this match with the final of these 3. Velatica moves over to the right side of the match before rushing in, getting
Quick
close to
distraction,
the
but
enemy.
It will fly away. And is that Hellfire Barracuda gone? Yes, it is. We love to see it.
Ooh, but right after that, Yenyu takes out himself.
You can see that Slow Zone's distracted here.
Side armor. Oh. Side armor.
Sorry, I got possessed.
All right. Well, there you go.
I'm so glad I added that side armor.
Yeah, that was close there, but Slow Zone just about managed to turn around and eat Yenyu there.
That
Slow
certainly
Zone
was.
definitely proving why it is Alliance Captain #1.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh my god, Velatica surviving its second match.
Well, now speaking of Kaboom, why don't we go over to you for some analysis on this match?
So this was the Alliance performing exactly as intended this very first match. That it was beautiful, it was wonderful, everything worked out exactly the way it should. Second match, we saw the dangers of Slow Zone getting distracted, and we saw the weakness of Yenyu's ship on my Alliance. It is very weak in the back, and especially against HM1s, which there are a lot of in this DRRT. it's not going to do very well. We also saw just the power of the raw DPS of this fleet. If it wasn't going up against 2 tanks, most fleets would have melted under that pressure. It may be a good thing for a lot of Alliance members that this is going into the losers bracket.
Thumbs up. All right. Well, that again is the very first playoffs match. Now let's see
Indeed.
who our next ones are.
Up next, we have Seed 4 against Seed 5. Project Lionfish up against Alliance at Home.
Oh, oops. Can we go with the order in my thing?
Does it matter?
It doesn't, but my thing shows only one thing.
So it does matter.
It does matter, yeah. The tournament
We'll
outcome
do
would not
whatever
be
you
affected.
determine. Yeah.
All right, yeah. All right, well, anyway, the next up then is Doomstar versus Helio. Or as
Yeah, okay. That is Seed 2 against Seed 7.
all right, Seed 2 against Seed 7. Let's get this match off the ground. Starting us off, Innuendo moves in with 2 of its smaller partners.
Ooh, Runner getting a almost clear shot there. But chasing around, slingshotting off the arena border, and that closes distance somehow. with
Ooh,
Beast
Deweese
closing
gets
in for
the kill though.
Ouch, yeah, all 3 members of Innuendo are still alive while taking out the one fast runner ship that is like them on the enemy alliance.
Really pummeling into the front of Doomstar. It has a lot of HP, but it won't stand the test of time against all 3 of my alliance.
And yeah, Doomstar's not going to be able to hold that for long. And we can kiss it goodbye.
Looking at all of this fire, it looks like the other member of the alliance isn't going in because of the thruster placement on the back. The turning thrust in the back with a slider means your ship turns around and doesn't face forward.
All that's left for Doomstar's alliance is VCSD.
And it's looking quite frightened right now.
BCSD facing the wrong direction as all 3 members of the alliance make sure that there's no correct direction to face.
No spinning is going to save you from all of that fire. That's looking like a very dangerous situation to be in.
Deweese sits off at a farther range than the others as Innuendo takes the first round. All right. Are we ready for the next round?
Yes, I believe so.
All right, round number 2. Innuendo again moving in to the other alliance with Runner hiding behind its alliance partner.
Getting really close with Doomstar again, but Doomstar thankfully does not have any of the immobilizer beams.
You can see all 3 of them are teaming up on Doomstar again. Looks like they just...
Ooh,
really
arena border
instead.
gets a kill on Helio, I believe.
Ooh, that is... That was
Trappers
nasty.
doing what trappers do.
They trap, indeed.
Runner sits off at a far distance trying to pelt the enemy at the longbow range, even though most of its weapons are at a closer range.
Seems
Mayfly
like
is
it can dodge
definitely
fire.
dodging though, yeah.
Yeah.
Doomstar is looking in a pretty similar state to last time, but Helio is gone.
Is looking up more for Doomstar's alliance.
Big Bang versus Runner.
Though VCSD up there, not doing much.
2 things going on at the same time. Runner attempts to chase down Deweese as the other member, Splinter, takes out Doomstar.
Looks like Runner sustained heavy damage in the fight against Deweese, and Mayfly got in a good shot there.
Well, that was interesting.
Oh.
Did Mayfly just get killed by VCSD?
I think it
maybe
did.
the arena border compared, and it got stuck maybe?
Yeah.
This is very interesting. Deweese is
That
going to
piece of
have
debris
to
there.
get some kills here, or it's going to go to points.
That piece of debris there is shielding Runner. Deweese having a hard time shooting past that.
Note that Deweese has much more damage per second at a longer range than Runner does, with its longbows as its primary weapon.
Though Runner has the advantage of being behind cover.
If those HM1s get too close, it won't come down to Runner.
Yeah.
Luis is taking heavy damage here.
Looks like Runner won't be able to hold for much longer. But neither could Dweest.
Looks like we'll be going to time.
Potentially.
And Doomstar's Alliance will take the win on points.
Whew. Close matches. This one is also going to go 2-3. Are you guys ready for the next match in this one?
Do they write into the data entry every match?
After all 3, yeah.
Okay, just double checking.
Thumbs up. All right, shall we go?
We shall.
Let's go. Final match. All 3 members of Innuendo move in. Deweese again firing from a distance as the other 2 members pelt on Runner, destroying most of its
Runner
weapons
gets caught
and
on
itself.
Darkstar.
Ooh, a
Mayfly's
trade.
gone. Mayfly gets eaten by Doomstar, just like that.
No longer Runner. No more Big Bang for Doomstar's Alliance.
Yeah.
I do believe Helio is the more tempered of the 2, though. We'll see if it gets trapped on the arena border, though. That'll spell its demise. Looks like it's going to escape this time, but there may be another.
Doomstar again pushing towards the arena border as Deweest begins to pelt its damage on VCSD, who is again turning around because of its inefficient turning thrust.
The Dweest is certainly out of harm's way's range. Ugh, I can't speak English again. When it comes to VCSD, it looks like just pelting it from here, it's probably going to take the win.
Yeah, this is
Kill.
brutal.
Most of the thruster spikes are gone as the ship is popped.
What might come into effect here, we might run into VCSD's corpse, which might be trouble, but we are going pretty slow, it looks like. Helio has a way of hypnotizing its opponents into standing still.
Yeah, with Runner killed, Doomstar and VCSD don't really have anyone to back them up whilst they're being pelted by the big bags.
Indeed, those missiles are sadly not rotating themselves fast enough towards the target, but they're very slightly causing the other ship to dodge, but not enough to keep Doomstar alive. And it looks
The
like
turrets are slowly burrowing in.
they sure are.
What's interesting to note is there's just a hair of PD on this alliance, and that hair of PD plus dodging seems to be the key to this alliance's success.
I'm seeing that as well. All those missiles are not really doing anything to
We
Helio.
only go to time. This is incredible. How long could Doomstar hold on?
Doomstar is one hell of a tanky ship.
No, it won't go to time.
There it goes. Now that is qualification match, not a qualification match. That, my friends, is a playoffs match all the way over. Now, let's take a look at the analysis to get a better feel of what that match did.
All right, so coming in to round 1, we saw immediately the danger on this alliance was entirely Doomstar for what was happening. Runner just couldn't quite make it versus these other Big Bang ships. They were tuned just a little bit more because Runner was publicly posted, and that really left it all down to Doomstar to do a lot of heavy lifting. It needed to do the major killing on this alliance. If VCSD hadn't butt shipped, it might have been more of a threat. We saw it get a kill, but unfortunately it just wasn't able to pull through. It butt shipped one too many times.
Yeah, All right, well, thank you for the insights, sir. Let's move on to the next match, which is who?
Looks like we've got We Are Legion up against Novakill.
All right, Seed 3 versus Seed 6. Let's get this match off the ground. Starting us off, interesting, moving towards Anti-X.
Very close, taking some damage.
Just about scraping by though. And Gamma
Ooh,
Ray looks
those
to
lasers.
have- It's not a spinner, but you can't be sure of this, you know? Never mind. Because what I was thinking is, as I said, Bursty's not consistent. You never know. You never know if Isnas is just going to whip out the burst lasers and kaboom. You never know it, but then Gamma Ray's gone. Oh yeah, I just said that.
Anti-X has defeated Destartes.
Creator's note, Gamma Ray was built with burst lasers in mind, and it has just enough armor to withstand one burst laser shot, and after that you don't need to worry about burst lasers anymore, because they do next to no damage.
This is definitely a predicament for Gamma Ray.
But you can't
Yeah.
really be sure about those things with burst lasers, because a lot of burst laser ships, after they shoot, they like to run away, and they come back.
Yeah, but Gamma
What
Ray's
doesn't-
got the speed to keep up.
You
So
never
long
know,
as
I
you
mean-
don't hit the front with that busted AI trigger, which is
Yeah.
unfortunately why it died there. It definitely could have cooked that. It could have cooked that other ship, but it is what it is.
All right, well, are we ready for the next match?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Starting us off, looks like both lighter ships on We Are Legion move closer to Destartes, who instantly pops the first one.
Had an unfavorable matchup against Anti-X last match, but let's see how it fares this time.
Gamma Ray closing in on Schlogger.
Ooh, getting hits in from the back though on Anti-X.
Schlogger just seems to be fast enough to outrun Gamma Ray though.
Ooh, wasn't in time.
Maybe not for long though. And that could be GG's. Yeah, Schlogger is out.
Anti-X has a disconnected core.
Thumbs up as Destartes tries to fire at the core of the ship, who is disconnected, without really much success.
Gamma Ray casually strolling in for the kill.
And taking it. And there's Novakill winning the second round. This is also going to 3. Incredible. All right.
We got some close matchups.
Indeed, we certainly do. Well, are you ready for the final round?
Let's do it.
All
wait.
right. Boop. All right, Gamma Ray moving closer to both Slider members of the Alliance, almost taking out most of the shields of Schlogger.
But both of them
Wow.
just about scraping by. And Destartes gets what was that one's name? Isnas.
Yes, it's an S.
Ooh.
Once again,
Anti-X.
Anti-X and Destartes.
Caught up in a scuffle there.
The
Both
Big
of
Bangs
those
are
two.
having a fight.
Yeah, those two kites are doing kiter things.
Note that Schlogger has a smaller radius and horizontal profile, I guess, while
And a lot
the
of
other one is
shields
a
as
little
well.
larger.
Interesting note, shield generators, although very good against splash, shields themselves are affected by splash damage. So when all of those shields are hit with the same splash radius, they're all damaged.
Very good when you're a ship. Well, that's very relevant when you're a Big Bang ship who mostly uses those directional explosive cannons. But a well-timed shot by Schlogger destroys Interesting in one blast.
Schlogger is
Solid
a very
thing.
accurate ship.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
noted to be a very dangerous sniper when it does that.
Gamma Ray's taken up the mantle where Destartes is left off. Gamma Ray has the ability to get rid of Schlogger here. And
Yeah,
it
but
seems
it
it's-
doesn't have the will. Its AI triggers popped. It's gonna run away until it dies.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it had popped or not.
Schlogger's also
Yeah,
really
that-
fast though. Ooh, never mind, perhaps. Ooh, just about.
Almost
Power
all
of
shields
those
going down on
stacked
Schlogger.
shields. Yeah. The shields will work spectacularly against directional damage.
As Anti-X attempts to regenerate by pulling blocks to itself, the other ship sits off at a convenient range as it begins to get pelted by Schlogger.
We'll just torture Kaboom for a couple more seconds.
Yeah, it's looking like it might be a points victory.
It's gonna be a points victory. Gamma Ray
Or
can
not.
survive this long.
My
Who knows?
condolences.
You can't be 100% sure of these things. But
I
it
may
is
not
quite
be
simple.
100% sure, but
But it seems most likely.
yeah,
Yeah.
lots of testing, too much testing.
All right, well, that's the next playoffs match done. Let's take a look at some more analysis. Over to you, Kaboom.
All right, so in this matchup, we saw two things happen. We saw a big tanky brawler meet up against Astartes, and we saw, unfortunately, Gamma Ray not doing its job. If Gamma Ray was just a little more aggressive, they would have pulled this through, simply because Gamma Ray would have been able to kill the other two members of the Alliance before they could do anything. However, Astartes just couldn't last long enough against Anti-X for Interesting to do all that heavy lifting. Relying on Interesting to be the heavy lifter of your fleet was a bold move, and it may still work yet. But we'll have to see that work later, because right now it just didn't do it.
All right, well, thank you for the insights, Kaboom. Let's move on to the very next match in the playoffs, which is 4 versus 5.
All right. This one we have Project Lionfish up against Alliance at Home.
All right. And confirming that Alliance at Home is how it appears in the sheet. Rectangular block doesn't have an author in this graphic. That's because the graphic is not doing it correctly yet, because that ship wasn't in the qualifications. Again, that is by skill. Just gotta make sure that's known. And yeah, it is spelled right. Perfect.
Wait
All
to
right.
see that. Can't wait to see that ship performing in the playoffs, since we didn't get to see it in the qualifications.
I'm also excited. Let's see. All right, Angry Ant firing first towards Cone Warrior.
Yeah, the two brawlers meet up in the middle, but Anti-X has a massive DPS advantage. Will it pay off? Ooh,
It's cutting
the
the Trongle
strange
in half.
shape of Trongle is definitely giving it an advantage here.
Trongle looks
Sure
to have.
is.
Sorry.
I was just agreeing with Jukes there.
Wow, a very quick destruction by Alliance at Home, destroying skill at the when it's outside the arena and destroying Pharaoh when it was distracted, while also outranging the weapons on Cone Warrior in the Trongle Brawl. That's incredible. Nice job,
Can
Alliance
you
at Home.
zoom in on the core? Oh my goodness.
That was so close. Wow. All right. Well, that's Alliance at Home winning the first round. Are we ready for the next one?
Do we want to do the, oh, yeah, go ahead.
All right. Boop. Starting us off, Angry Ant moving in close, but the other Tinkle fires first. Skill hitting Trongle.
Trongle's a little bit out of place here, but this is another interesting matchup.
Those Avengers are lagging behind the core in that spinning match.
And noticing that Trongle's core is just really hard to hit. That weird shape play paying off again.
Oh, out of range. Avengers, known for their low range.
Ouch. And now only skill is remaining on this alliance, but it is a bursty faction ship against two big bangs.
Man, but it doesn't stand a chance against all of that DPS.
Indeed. Well, there we go. That's Alliance at Home taking the round against Lionfish, well, Project Lionfish. All right. Well, let's get into some analysis on this match. Over to you, Kaboom.
Okay, so here we saw we saw Trongle. We saw Trongle doing what it is best at. This is an ideal scenario for Trongle, and really the tempo of this alliance in general just made these some really quick matches. I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the future. Trongle it was living its best life as an anti-brawler, and the rest of the alliance was able to pull through, killing that distractor before it could do anything, and the bursty unfortunately just was unable to get a kill off. If the rectangular block had successfully killed one of the two bursties, this alliance would have been in a lot more hot water. But unfortunately, the rectangular block just isn't quite fast enough. Back to you.
All right, thumbs up. Thank you for the insights. Let's move on. Oops. Oops. Right button, please. All right, our next match. Moving on to the next zone of the playoffs. We have Slow Zone versus Tinkerle at Home, or the Grow Zone versus Alliance at Home.
Are we doing all of the winners bracket first?
Yes, sadly.
Oh, okay.
My thing is a little janky. But it shows cool graphics, and let's get this thing going. It's Tinkerle at Home's Alliance first. Or Alliance at Home, my goodness. Slow Zone. Or the Grow Zone. Okay.
We grow, we conquer.
Shall we get this qualification playoffs match started? We shall. Starting us off, Angry Ant moving towards Velatica. Velatica getting a good strike and destroyed very quickly.
Trongle is fighting another brawler, but this time I believe it is definitely being outranged here.
That is not the sort of situation that you want Velatica to be in. But Slow Zone is catching Nevermind. Thought it was going to catch it on the arena border, but it got turned.
Trongle's being double teamed.
Again, Trongle acting as a really good distraction.
How is it still alive?
Weird call placement.
Side armor. Thank
No.
you, side armor.
Trongle has gone back to the
It's got two
second
weak points.
dimension.
Yeah, and all of Trongle's weapons are gone as the ship is now just a block with thrusters on it, attacking Slow Zone, who is currently the only remaining ship on on the Grow Zone.
Getting some
No,
side
do
shots in
remember
from
how
Big Bang.
powerful Slow Zone is.
Slow Zone, please turn. Slow Zone, please.
No.
Oh man.
Wow.
Oof.
That is impressive. That is an impressive play from Alliance at Home. All
Yeah.
of them just teaming up in all the right ways. They managed to take out Slow Zone. That is
Trongle
impressive.
carry. Slow King, that was Trongle carry.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That was a full-on Trongle carry.
Trongle carry. Trongle is. This is our run. So it's ranked surprisingly low, considering I know that that's a really good ship.
Trongle
Sure
went
is.
from 2D to 1D in that match.
Why are we
Became
doing
the
match
largest
replay?
burrito.
Wasn't that only one win?
We were idling, and so I decided to spice up the visuals.
All right, sounds
Awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, that was unfortunate.
On to the next
I
match.
mean, the very first thing Slow King said was, let's pray for that 20% chance, and it happened, so...
You never know. Reassembly is not a predictable game.
No.
Like when they just decide to team up, because the Reassembly AI doesn't know how to work as a team. But when they just magically do, it makes things work. And you can see that. You can see that Grow Zone was acting in a fairly disjunct way there. Velatica flying in, getting itself killed, thought it could kill Angry Ant, but it got ganged up. And then Slow Zone was a bit confused, Furnished going in. But then you see Alliance at Home just kind of doing its thing, right? The kiters are kiting, the Trongle hard carrying there, just taking so much damage. It's honestly incredible.
So
Yeah.
I actually recommended Trongle. That wasn't the original pick for this alliance.
You regretting
And
that?
I can't believe that I'm proud of it, but I'm also hating it right now.
Fair enough. You know, it's all for the content, right? Twitch.tv/debrisfield.
All right, well, there we go. That is the first round of the Grow Zone versus Alliance at Home. Let's move on to the next one. Angry Ant not firing first, but Velatica destroying Tinkerle at Home first of all. And moving out of there quickly. Slow
my
Zone
God,
getting to the
okay.
back of Trongle. A good angle for Slow Zone, but Trongle is very good at spinning around.
Hey, where'd Velatica
I don't
go?
know. I think
Yeah.
the beams are keeping it in place.
Oh,
Yeah, the beams are keeping it in place.
Velatica there's gone, but she served her purpose.
She did. She's also acting as a great distraction while the two brawlers are distracted,
Exactly.
dealing with Trongle.
And Trongle is gone. And that's just another
Okay.
kill to the count.
Angry Ant confused by Trongle's debris, and
Oh,
that's
it's
it.
getting closer. It's getting closer. It's in the. Yeah, it's over. GG's.
Whew.
This is each ship doing what it's meant to. The power of teamwork.
This was just a complete reversal of last time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that if Velatica survives and takes out one of those ships, then the match changes completely. Well, are we ready for the next
so
one?
inconsistent.
But
Indeed.
yeah, I'm ready for the next one.
Let's freaking go. The final round of this match, with Angry Ant moving in, firing at Yenyu first.
Galactica's coming in, but it does not find purchase on either of the Big Bang factions.
Though she is still alive. Val says that my evil laugh sounds exactly the same every time.
Slow Zone
Oh,
grabbing its first
bad.
victim.
Ooh,
that's bad.
Galactica's
That's really
prioritizing the
bad.
wrong target.
You know what?
Trongo's getting
Galactica's
eaten.
time. Let's go.
But Velatica's just watching. She's a bit. She doesn't know what to do right now.
Trongle's weapons are gone as Velatica moves into the backside, potentially causing some chaos over here.
She's just completely forgetting that she can one-tap Angry Ant. Though, looks like Furnished is here to finish the job.
Yenyu is nearly fast enough to destroy freaking Angry Ant.
Furnished is remarkably fast.
is deceitfully fast.
Yep, that's why I picked her.
Yeah. But what's Velatica doing? What's Lozo doing as well? They're just like, huh? They don't know what's going on. Like Furnished is there just running for her life in the most like aggressive chase I've ever seen, and then Slowzone and Velatica is just there like, but Velatica's joining in on the fun, or not.
More blocks can get destroyed on Yenyu as Angry Ant regenerates itself from a lack of being hit. One of these shields is gone though, but very quickly Velatica gets destroyed by a well-timed shot of some sort from the enemy
Though that
lines.
did cause a small distraction, and Furnished is closing the gap.
Honestly, this is just gonna come down to points. I don't think.
I don't know.
that
I don't know
Yenny's gonna be
if
able to
Ant gets the
beat-
kill here, it might be close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
big if.
If Angry Ant kills Furnished, then it's just gonna get caught in slow zone, right?
debatable. Ant may try to run away. Oh, that was lucky positioning.
Ooh man, this
yeah.
is looking a little more
Furnished
dire now.
is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I
20
can't take
seconds on the
damage
clock.
from
But
behind.
that adrenaline
This is
strike
actually
very
kind of
hard.
bad.
Ooh, yeah.
Now it looks like Slow Zone still got the point lead.
Yep, but 15
Slow zone
seconds
is
to close that
turning
gap.
slowly.
It would need to take out a weapons cluster to get close.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, and Grow Zone takes it. That was a
barely. That was
very
clutch.
tense match.
Sure was. And on that note, let's get into the analysis.
Okay, so we saw a lot of things happen. We saw both these alliances work as well-oiled machines. These were carefully thought out alliances, and it just came down to the ships themselves. That last match especially, Slow Zone coming in and grabbing Tinkerl at home, that was play of the game right there. That removed most of the DPS from the fleet. Slow Zone then came and dealt with Trongle, the biggest threat to the alliance, and Yenyu just acted as a distraction for long enough that it didn't matter anymore.
Also, we can't forget, you know, Velatica scoring a couple of kills. That took out a couple of them.
Oh yeah, Velatica, when it gets kills, it swings the match, which I'm pleasantly surprised.
You were not expecting that, were you?
No,
You
and
picked it
I'm
half of the
so
memes,
happy.
didn't you? Yeah. I wasn't expecting that either, to be honest.
Like, Velatica not only getting kills, but swinging matches because of it is nice. But by the
Yeah.
same token, let's not dismiss just how lethal this opponent's alliance was. This came down to
yeah.
points against 2 brawlers and a bursty versus
That was
2
just
big
one angry
bangs and a tank.
yeah.
There was no reason for this alliance to do
That
nearly
was
as well as it
actually
did.
so tense. Like Angry Ant was doing so well there. It was actually that was actually just a word. That I was honestly just sitting on the edge of my seat there, and that bit where Velatica got killed. That was when I really started to realize the gravity of the situation.
We did see
Honestly,
another kill on,
I've got to
Slow Zone.
say well played to my opponent. This,
Yeah, me too. That was such a good match.
All right, back to you, Debris.
Debris is using the loo.
All right, so we can keep talking. Yeah,
That's right.
Well,
honestly, I'd like to highlight
hope
how
we don't hear from
Volatica
Debris
came
right
in
now.
clutch round 1, and then Yenyu came in clutch round 2. I can't say that I'm disappointed with my picks for this alliance.
yeah, and also just slow zone, just being slow zone.
Man, I've tested slow zone enough that at this point being proud of it just comes with the territory. No, you got grow zone, Slow King.
Oh, we grow, we conquer.
We thrive.
But hey, that was
devour.
a pretty close match with both alliances. Well, it's 2v1. It's been almost all these matches are going to best of 3, which is incredible.
Honestly, I'm very much looking forward to the rematch because this is a good alliance that very well may win in the losers bracket. That is a
Honestly
very
scary.
real possibility.
Honestly, a very, very scary alliance. Like, when they work together, they're very hard to beat.
And they seem to be working together well. They're fast enough that they all just naturally keep up with each other. It's scary. But moving on.
All right. Now, who's our next one? That's right. It is Innuendo versus Schloggers, or We Are Schlogger. Is that right?
We are Schlegion.
We are
Schlegion.
Schlegion. They're
That's
the
right.
Schlegion. No one opposes the Schlegion.
All right. Well, shall we get this off the ground?
Loax says that this looks like it's going to be a really close match. Let's
I hope
see.
it will be.
Let's see how it is.
Starting us off, both Big Bang small ships on the alliance instantly destroy Schlogger.
Schlogger is gone.
Helio with that really quick kill. The bursty
Yes,
ship
and
is
us.
still alive. Definitely the main threat here.
Doing bursty things. And there's one more burst and that is gone. But, oh god, this is
Deweest got a great shot. I feel it's going to be very difficult for Anti-X to get any kills here.
Both of these ships, these longer range ships, are not doing well, okay, Anti-X has some thrust on it that makes it so it has the ability to turn in some cases when it's facing the wrong direction, but I don't think it can do it fast enough.
Loax, they're terrified in chat.
Honestly,
I
all
would be
of these
too.
matches have been nail
I'd be too.
biters.
That was unexpected. I was not expecting such early kills with Sugar and stuff. And it looks like Anti-X is gone. Can't take so much fire from two kiters.
Yeah, the DPS on Deweest is really something to marvel.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of damage. That is.
Is Helio gonna go and... Yep, there goes Helio.
To show you
Helio's
the
stealing the
power
kill.
of flex tape, I sawed this ship in half.
I was going to quote Phil Swift.
We'll
Well,
duct
as
tape it together for round 2.
Loax is crying about this. Come on, we still got more rounds. It's not all hope is gonna happen, you know.
are we ready for the next round of this match?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely ready.
Let's go. Starting us off, Helio moves closer to Schlogger, who is still trying to aim at the enemy while two Big Bangs fire antimatter at it.
Schlogger's dodging is still pretty competent though it looks like its shields are out and a trade.
Oh my
That
goodness,
was
they both
cool.
go up in a puff of smoke. And it looks like ISIS got Helio. It's just down to Deweest.
It's courtesy of the 10 Tinkerel shields there keeping Schlogger alive enough to do that trade. If it
I
weren't for the
do
Tinkerel shields, it would
believe
have gone.
Deweest has the best chance against Bursty faction, though. A lot more armor.
There's a lot of backwards thrust as well. And looks like Isnas
Ooh.
is gone.
Oh, this is definitely very dangerous for Anti-X.
Yeah,
We've
Anti-X
seen
fire
what
shipping here as
Deweest
well.
can do to Anti-X.
Yeah. Come on, turn around. Turn around,
There is a
Anti-X.
point gap to fill.
Anti-X.
Again, this looks similar to last match with Anti-X trying to angle itself towards the enemy with its slider thrust arrangement, but not able to do it.
Deweest is just bullying this thing. Oh my god. Oh. Can't help but pity the ship, to be completely honest.
Wow.
Sorry, Lex.
Deweese doing
It looks
exactly
like-
what I got it for. Bullying
Yeah, it
those
looks-
bursty factions.
He looks like what's it called? We are Legion's gonna be down. That was quite an unexpected sweep, to be honest. I was expecting it to be closer.
All right, well, after this match is concluded, let's go over to Kaboom for some analysis. What are your thoughts?
Oh boy. Unfortunately, we saw what happens when the critical member of your alliance gets overwhelmed. NAS is a really good ship. We saw it get some really good kills. But it was the only counter there was to Big Bang. And as soon as it went down, the entire alliance fell apart.
I also want to add. Sorry, I just want to add to that.
We did see Schlager get that amazing double kill, and that's just the power of Schlager. But you know, a one-ship trade means nothing when you've got 2 more ships to fill that niche. Every single time the tank just got killed. Even if it wasn't butt shipping, that just delayed the inevitable. We saw at the very end there, we saw Deweese just completely bullying that. We saw it bullying Anti-X, a ship that is ranked incredibly highly and does an incredible job. It just had a bad matchup, and that's really what this is if you don't have enough bursty, or if you don't have a backup in case your bursty dies, this is just overwhelming an enemy with volume of fire, and we saw how devastating that can be.
Also wanted to add just the fact that Schlager is a really aggressive kiter. It's more like a skirmisher, to be completely honest, and it does this thing where it flies in almost like. In an alliance like this, it's a much more risky move to do that.
Indeed, yeah. I'm looking at that replay, the time when both those ships trade as they fly into the border and explode each other. Amazing. That's a lot of fun. That's a cool clip right there. Well, anyway, again, thank you for the analysis. That is Innuendo versus We Are Legion. And who moves on? That's right, it's Innuendo. And now, where are we in the bracket, Duke Slayer?
In the bracket, we are looking at the semifinals for the winners bracket.
Ooh, cool. All right. Well, we are. Oops, I gotta press U.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here's our next match. I think are these not the winners finals?
Yeah, the winners semifinals.
Ah, all right. Well, let's get this started. This is Alliance 1 versus Alliance 7, and who are they?
We've got Team Innuendo up against Team Rowzone with Helio, Unstable, Mayfly, and Deweese. Up against Slowzone, Furnished, and Velatica.
Slow King says that Velatica needs to carry. Damn right. Damn right.
Indeed, in this alliance, a bursty faction ship would be a good addition. So let's hope that it does its job. Let's start the match right now.
Ooh, Fel is rooting for you, Duke.
I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah,
The
Velatica
creators
is doing
collide.
Velatica things, and distractions have been caused, leading to Furnished is going to be able to do that.
Velatica,
Ooh.
Velatica quickly taking out a Big Bang ship on the
Yeah.
enemy alliance, despite being
mentioned
chased.
when I made the first version, in the 5th version even of Velatica, that she is only good when the enemy is distracted, but distracted the enemy is right now.
Against
This
those
is-
Slow zone. Sorry.
Slowzone angling itself towards the enemy, trying its best, while all 3 partners stick together as a good set of friends. That is what you call good alliance behavior.
Interesting
Exactly.
note here. Deweese is actually too heavy.
I noticed that, because as I noticed, it's doing the clockwise spinning again, so I figured it was going to come back around, but I was not expecting that. Oh my god.
Vladica taking out Deweese from the back very quickly.
Remember
3
when we said
kills.
Vladica needs to carry?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think Vladica carry.
Oh my god, I'm actually doing a Descender comeback.
With 2 ships in the destruction log for Vladica. Pretty cool.
Wait, 2?
It's all part of your anime training.
Yeah. What doesn't kill me only makes me stronger.
Honestly, something I'd like to highlight, Yenyu's ship is a slider. It got saved so hard by Vladica on that second kill. That second kill, the one that all goes to Vladica, the first one was stolen by Furnished, but that second kill was completely Vladica. And you know what? I'm kind of proud of that ship.
You said pray to the backstab gods. We prayed to the backstab gods, and look what's happening.
Dude.
Vladica has unlocked her inner spy gaming.
We'll see what happens in round 2. I'm still terrified of this alliance.
Yeah, I think it's really hinging a lot on how Vladica deals its damage, if it survives into the late game. Something I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
We're going in now.
She's taking some damage there.
Sorry about
But she's
that,
pretty
dude.
good at dodging, so hopefully she can take this back. It looks like she's still in a somewhat alliance. No,
Deweese is
Oh,
definitely the best up
yeah.
against Vladica.
you never know. She's pretty good at dodging, as I mentioned.
Slowzone
That.
looks like it eats one of the bursty ships.
She's
Looks like
still
it was
alive.
Helio.
Circling around.
Oh, this is really, really rough situation for Deweese. Has got to get out of there.
Ooh,
It does.
Manages to edge out. But if you notice, Vladica is circling around. So what's going to happen? Never mind. Not
Vladica
that.
Looks
cutting
like
off
Mayfly
one half
died
of
to
that ship.
missiles.
Ooh, but a huge
But-
shot of longbows destroys most of the array of weapons. On
She's still
Vladica.
alive though, so
Oh,
she might be
but
able to reassemble in time.
It's 1 versus 3. This is going to be one hell of a comeback.
She's a lot slower now, and that shot there looks like it's going to take her.
Deweese being extremely accurate with its longbows, hitting shots while being bounced by the arena border.
And also notice Furnish there shielded Vladica from the killing blow. Friendship. So you see here, this is Yenyu's other ship, being compassionate, loving, and a good friend, as opposed to having more blood flowing in its veins and more hate flowing in its veins than blood. This is the true testimony to how amazing friendship and love and compassion is.
Love over hate, man.
Make peace, not war. Anyways, now I'm going to go back to killing things.
Vladica getting close, distracting the member of the enemy alliance, and again, allowing Yenyu to get much closer. With a well-timed, different weight and strike, Grozone takes the match. Whew.
Yeah, not much to say. Vladica really made
Very.
that pretty simple.
Who's carrying who?
It
And
happened.
you said you're only taking me so you can carry him. Who's carrying
You
who?
know what? You know what? I recant my words. Vladica
I'm
went
as
through a
surprised.
true anime arc.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can all say, Alex said it, I'm going to say it, Salmon, you darn well better say it and re-own your child, or I will re-own it for you.
Oh,
Good
again,
job,
I
Vladica.
said she came back. I've mentioned this so many. She came back, and I didn't have the heart to say no.
I want to hear you say the words, Salmon.
Vladica is my daughter, and I love her.
All right. That's what I want to hear. And don't you ever throw her out on the streets again.
Never, no matter how hard she loses.
All
To
right.
go to New Orleans, can you believe this?
All right. All right.
Well,
I'm happy now.
Kaboom, have you got any more insights, more close-in insights on this match?
Nope. Back to you. I'm just watching a happy father and ship, and you know what? That's what the Grow Zone's all about, gamers.
We are growing our characters here.
All right.
Back to you.
Well, glorious. I'm now going to do the terrifying thing of switching to the loser's bracket. Because that right there is the winner's bracket complete. with the Grow Zone taking the winner's bracket. Very cool. And, but yeah, it's time for the loser's bracket. Who have we got first up? I think I'm going to move the M-Logs to a different folder.
We've got Hellfire Barracuda's Alliance up against Project Lionfish.
Uh-oh. We're seeding the bracket differently. Who would you like to go with, Duke?
Huh?
Both of our things are seeding the bracket a little differently.
Oh, I've just been doing what you've been doing this whole time. It's fine.
Yeah, I think Challenge is doing it weird. All right.
Challenge is doing it like the technically correct way.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm annoyed my thing isn't working right.
It's fine. It's been working as good as it needs to. It's just we did one side of the bracket now, and now we're doing the losers.
I suppose so. It's just showing up that Doomstars Alliance is the next one against Hellfire. So,
Oh, that's what you meant. I guess yeah, it is seated differently.
But check this out. One moment while we fix this short problem.
I think what we do is
you keep it how it is because that's probably correct.
keep it as Challenge says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Hellfire versus Lionfish.
Sorry about this. Ugh. This will just be a moment. That value right there is 15. Okay, there we go. The bracket should match the other thing now. Glorious. Wonderful. I love having untested stuff on the day of everything.
Do you need to refresh it?
I think it's good now. Hellfire Barracuda versus Cone Warrior is the next one.
Yeah, okay, this looks good.
All right. Sorry about that, folks. My thing is not fully tested. That's a bummer. But let's get this next match going. And who is it again, Duke?
We've got Hellfire Barracuda's Alliance up against Project Lionfish, with Hellfire, Bricator, and More Hate Than Blood up against Cone Warrior, Regular Block, and Pharaoh.
All right. Let's get this match off the ground. The first round of the losers bracket starts with Hellfire shooting missiles towards the enemy alliance.
Yeah, looks like More Hate Than Blood. Ooh, bad angles there. Instantly taken out.
Two ships.
The brick.
Wow, holy cow. That was a fast
the
one.
Bellatica thing.
Project Lionfish very quickly destroying all members of the enemy alliance while using high DPS and just bursty weapons. Pretty cool. That's match number 1. Are you ready for match number 2?
Absolutely.
Let's go. Rectangular block
Brick
is
closing
getting
in, the
ready
more hate than
to
blood.
burst down Yenyu.
But it flies away.
Damage is going towards all members. Pharaoh distracting Yenyu as
Bye,
Cone Warrior
Pharaoh.
destroys it. Huge
Cone
amount of
Warrior's taking a
missiles.
lot of damage. Yeah, those
Fire
missiles
Barracuda
are
has a lot
destroying
of DPS. Ooh. Dangerous.
Very impressive with 2 ships remaining on Hellfire's alliance. It wins the second round. Are you ready for round number 3, the final round of the first round of
Certainly.
losers bracket? Let's go. The brick moves in towards Yenyu, getting a burst shot, but not really capitalizing on it.
Ooh, yeah. And those missiles.
Yeah, Hellfire
what
takes
HM
out the
wants to-
brick. Well, the small brick.
Yeah, a small brick.
Cone Warrior is switching targets very quickly and taking out Hellfire as it gets in close range while beginning to return to pelting the brick. It does look like its Avengers are out of range, but Pharaoh is right there with Gauss beams to burrow deep into the hole. There it goes.
We should probably differentiate from the brick and the rectangle.
That's true. I hope I said the rectangular block in those a few times.
Yeah, we can tell who's who.
But yeah, there we go. That's Project Lionfish winning. All right, Kaboom, are you ready for some analysis?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
Here we saw a lot of different things happen. In match 1, we got to see just how scarily lethal Cone Warrior is. We also got to see that Hellfire Barracuda, when left undisturbed, is more than willing to kill even the thickest armor. It's a bad matchup if those two face off, and they're the Alliance captains. So whenever Hellfire Barracuda was undisturbed, bad things happened to the enemy Alliance. However, that's just not the way it played out. I would say that Pharaoh and Rectangular Block played a pivotal role here. They were able to distract Hellfire Barracuda consistently enough that it ran too close. And whenever it ran too close, it died instantly.
All right, well, there you go. Thank you for the insights, Kaboom. Let's begin the next match of the losers bracket, which is who again?
Doomstar's Alliance up against Novakill.
All right, let's get this. Oops, wrong situation. Yeah, there we go. Let's get this match off the ground. Again, this is Alliance 6 versus Alliance 2.
Very similar composition here.
Gamma
Runner
Ray going
trying
after Runner. Sorry, I got you off.
All good. Ooh, Runner trying to get really close to Interesting, destroying it, but Destartes kills it very quickly.
Destartes Trapper design catching as it should.
That's what immobilizers do. But Doomstar has a lot more armor than Destartes, so...
I might have to give this one to Destartes. It's got way more DACA.
Yeah, it's got more DACA, but again, it's 100 PD going off there with what's it called, Gamma Ray.
I would like to point out that that's actually going to be really important, because if Gamma Ray keeps the missiles off the core of Destartes, that's good fleet composition.
Indeed.
It is. Gamma Ray has very strong PD, and that's something that you want in an alliance as an alliance partner, especially if your other alliance partners and captain don't have as much PD as you. It's going against HM1s. Any cloud of HM1s could melt a small ship.
Note that this, again, VCSD doesn't have turning thrust in the front, and that is why it is not deciding to rotate itself around and potentially move into closer range.
This might be a long next minute.
I think it will.
Yeah, Destartes isn't turning around. Interesting that we saw that brawl with Destartes. Can you zoom in on that to see what the destruction looks like?
Sure can.
Yeah, it looks like the front nose of Destartes is well placed, and it was able to sustain a huge amount of punishment before getting about halfway down.
Yeah, and it's still taken quite a lot of beating. Sorry.
Yeah, it tore Dark Star in half. Like, Dark Star is completely split in two. That's a lot of... Oh, hold up, something's happening.
Oop.
It turned around.
The AI trigger on Gamma Ray regenerated, causing the ship to go into close range.
Looks like it's going to be a points victory, though, since the Gamma Ray is pretty survivable.
That's true. Was close, though. All right, well, there we go. Novakill winning the first round on points. Are y'all ready for round number 2?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Starting us off. Interesting moves closer, getting a shot off on Runner, but missing.
Doomstar lasers almost taking out Interesting. Interesting flank here, actually.
Runner firing
Runner
a
has
Gamma Ray
significant
at
amounts of
high
DACA.
rates. Destartes is in the middle of 2 ships with higher close-range weapons in damage per second.
Ooh, yeah, and Destartes doesn't have nearly as much backup as it does front.
VCSD is getting kills from this back, though.
Ooh, interesting, trying to deal damage while taking advantage of the distraction of Destartes, but Destartes was destroyed before they could occur. It is currently firing again at the front of the ship, which is good because the stacked armor on Doomstar doesn't really care, well, doesn't really do much to help against, splash damage. Good shots by Runner, destroy Gamma Ray.
Yeah, Runner has a lot of Daka there. That was kind of inevitable, since it's got a lot more range as well. It's quite fast of a ship.
Runner to save the day. Interesting, was very close to killing Doomstar there.
Yeah,
Runner is a
This
very
could have
cool
gone
ship.
very differently if Runner had died. Honestly, the crux of this fleet going into round 3 is going into round 3. Okay, is going to definitely be Runner.
Yeah, because these two ships don't have nearly as much range as Runner. So then if they get distracted, you need Runner to clean off the little gnats trying to kill Doomstar and VCSD.
All right, well, let's see what happens next match and see if it is indeed an important ship on this alliance. With Runner firing first against Astartes, getting a little close to multiple ships on that alliance.
But it's backing out just in time.
Again, getting into the same match it did with Gamma Ray as it did earlier in the match, with both ships on Doomstar's alliance that are Broad Breath trying to get to the backside of Astartes. Interesting this time, capitalizing effectively on the distraction posed by Astartes, who remains
Oh my
alive.
goodness. Gamma Ray just burns straight through VCSD.
That is very dangerous stack of lasers.
Interesting, hitting Runner from the angle in which it shouldn't be hit, taking it out in a single blast.
Yeah, Runner can dodge one stream of can dodge one stream of projectiles, but it can't do two. No one can.
Indeed, and well, there we go. That's Nova Kill winning the match. And well, let's get into some analysis from Kaboom. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah. So, here's basically what happened. Runner was either on point or off point. If Runner was distracted with other ships, it wasn't able to successfully kill the key members of this alliance that would really cause trouble for those brawlers, and bad things happened. Otherwise, the alliance was really held together by Runner. Without it, it just couldn't catch up. Gamma Ray was too fast to be trifled with, and for what it's worth, so was interesting.
Thumbs up. All right, well, thank you for the insights on that match. And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Duke Slayer, how does the bracket look now?
The bracket next up, I believe, is We Are Schlegion up against Project Lionfish. Seed 3 versus Seed 4.
All right, and it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, again, that Doomstar's alliance is now out for losing this match.
That is correct.
Ouch.
It has to happen to someone, and that's the
Yeah.
ire of the losers bracket.
It was a bit sooner than I was expecting, though, because Doomstar is a really dangerous ship, and the alliance position was pretty good.
Yeah, I hoped Runner could do better than it did then, but, I'm glad I could help win the matches that we did win. Sorry, Simplecrum. I guess this alliance will have to... Well, we'll have to see what happens later.
Well,
Good
honestly,
job,
it was a
Runner.
1v2 fight, and very few ships can beat that. Don't feel too bad.
Wouldn't doubt that. Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. That's Nova Kill versus Doomstar. And Duke, you said the next one was who again?
We Are Schlegion up against Project Lionfish.
All right. And yeah, all right. We Are Schlegion versus Project Lionfish.
Good luck, all.
All right, let's go. Again, this is Alliance number 4 and Alliance number 3. Let's see what happens. All right, starting us off, Schlager attempts to aim at skill.
And a very angry Brick running in here. It doesn't seem to have as much armor as it does.
Ooh, Pharaoh gets the bursty on bursty action.
That's what it's like. I always say this, but bursty versus bursty is like a Wild West standoff.
Wow.
You need to see who shoots first.
Cone Warrior is almost nearly completely taken out by Schlager.
Christ.
All that's left.
Dangerous ship.
Luix getting in there and popping the core, finishing the job, stealing
Yeah.
the kill from Anti-X. Still thinking it's the Quals, wanting to get more ranking points.
Yeah, but Schlager is a very dangerous, very fast, very accurate ship with a lot of firepower.
Now I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing hints of Velatica in the behavior here.
Yeah, flying around the edges just like Velatica. But
Slugger won't want to get too
that's what
close
Velatica is.
here.
Oh, dangerous zaps to those shields.
Ooh.
And there it goes. We are Legion taking the first round on Destruction.
Got slogged.
All right, ready for round number 2?
Let's do it.
Jogger OP.
All right. Pharaoh and the other bursty ship on the Alliance trying to take out Iznaz very quickly. Ooh, and succeeding while Anti-X destroys skill. Or nearly destroys skill. No, yeah, destroys skill.
Pharaoh is getting slogged right now.
It is getting
Again,
slugged.
showing how accurate Slogger is. Slogger is an all-round just really well-balanced ship. It's,
Yeah, Cone Warriors.
much less susceptible to burst lasers than other kiters, and it's got mobility, it's got firepower, it's got armor, and it's got pretty much everything.
Notably about small ships that are made to dodge, small ships cause the reassembly AI to think it can dodge more things, which I think is a good thing to think about when you're trying to make a kiter. Helios certainly probably takes advantage of that, etc. But yeah, that's match number 2. We Are Legion takes the match pretty convincingly.
What happened? Oh, passive reflex.
All
It
right.
says that Anti-X has amazing armor design. Absolutely. The armor design of Anti-X is really non-conventional. It often confuses other ships.
Indeed. Well, and there we go. We have that was a match of Project Lionfish versus We Are Legion and Kaboom. Are you ready for some analysis?
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Cone Warrior's biggest weakness exploited. We saw what happens when Cone Warrior faces off against a not just any kind of Big Bang, but we saw what happens when it faces an angry Big Bang. I believe this was a very big AI behavior issue. If that AI wasn't so aggressive, it would not have gotten the kills that it did. It needed to be at close range to kill the Brick. It needed to be at close range to kill Cone Warrior. Just because the way that it drilled into Cone Warrior made it to where the ejectable core that we've seen could not escape without running into more fire, which it couldn't take anymore. It was just a core. Anti-X did an excellent job of withstanding the fire of Cone Warrior. As we've seen has been done before, this was just a bad matchup for the enemy alliance.
Yeah, thumbs up. Well, thank you for the analysis. And now it looks like yeah, Project Lionfish is now out as it loses its match in the losers bracket. Sorry about that, Splinter and friends, but that's what happens.
Shame.
All right, well, let's get back into this and who exactly is next in our calculation.
We've got the Alliance at home up against Novakill.
All right, let's go. Alliance at home versus Novakill. Okay. Let me do this so we can match the order of the graphic. Okay. And let's begin the first match. Well, not the first match at all, actually. Starting us off, not runner. Oh my goodness.
Angry Ant. Angry Ant is doing Angry Ant things. It's a very angry.
Trongle got the wrong angle.
Oh.
But
Is Trongle dead?
It is avenged by Tinkerle at home.
Wait, is Trongle dead?
Trongle's
It doesn't
dead.
look dead.
It's dead.
Man.
Trongle's
That
recessed core.
Yeah, that core placement is a double-edged sword.
Indeed, but there we go. That is Alliance number 1. No, it's not. What am I saying? It's Alliance at home, taking the first round very convincingly. All right, you ready for the next round?
That was a pretty
Sure.
quick win as well, just bringing back that whole Alliance at home has a very high tempo.
Indeed, but this time, Gamma Ray is getting a little close compared to the other times, but its AI trigger was still popped. A different angle occurring on this fight against Trongle, and Trongle escaping from Destartes.
It's missing all of its weapons.
You're not sure if it's going to be able to regenerate those in time. Gamma Ray under heavy firing, it's still about surviving.
Ooh, a trap? Oh.
Ooh.
That's
Now-
a very big swing in Destartes' favor.
Yeah.
The start is turning around, trying to clear its Captain Butt, but interesting, destroys Angry Ant before anything else can occur. Nova Kill wins second round. Ooh.
Up to the third match. Let's see how this goes.
Let's go. Angry Ant firing
Let's go.
second. This time, Gamma Ray is very close, getting some shots off on Trongle, but its AI trigger is still popped again. This time, Trongle is not in the jaws of Destartes, and Destartes can very quickly destroy Slowk's main captain. Wow.
Yeah, notice that
It
Gamma Ray
does.
there had its target priority wrong. Mixed up a little. When it flew past Trongle, there are two little light ships that it could have popped, but no, it was distracted.
Angry Ant also quickly destroying Destartes while it was distracted or finished being distracted on Trongle.
It is the ant against the world.
Ooh, it sure is.
But there
I feel
was this.
so conflicted about this because I helped both these alliances.
I mean, I remember. Do you remember when Angry Ant in a previous match kind of stood its ground for a really long time on its own? That was against Grozone, I think.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a very good solo ship. And it's also outranging Gamma Ray here, so Gamma Ray could be in a pickle.
But Gamma Ray is known for its survival. If it can just act as a nice distraction for long enough, it may be able to buy interesting enough time to score a kill.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what happened.
Exactly, yeah.
That's all that needed to happen. I'm
The
proud
Ant's
of my
fury.
ship.
The Ant's fury has been put to rest.
This was either going to be Doomslayer meets Ant, or it was going to be a good team play.
Yeah, that was quite the match going left and right. I think one of the most important factors was the destruction early on of Tinkerell at Home.
Yeah, that getting rid of those two those two Big Bang ships, that was crucial because either one of them could take out the flagship Destartes, and once Destartes was taken out, the fleet was at a severe disadvantage. Trongle played its part very well the times that it successfully got caught in Destartes' jaws. Unfortunately, that third match, when Destartes was allowed to roam free, it did what it does best to small ships, and that's really the heart of Alliance at Home's fleet was small light ships. It all came down to that third round, and I've got to say, each ship played to the best of its ability, and that's what we want to see in DRRT.
Agreed. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you for the analysis. I appreciate it. And again, that is Nova Kill versus Alliance at Home, with the victor being Nova Kill. All right, so who's our next match?
Up next, it should be We Are Schlegion up against Novakill. This is for the position for who will fight Innuendo, and then further on into the Grozone finale.
All right. Yeah, so you said We Are Schlegion versus Nova Kill?
That is correct.
Sweet. Okay, let's begin this match right now. Gamma Ray moving into closer range against Anti-X.
Schlager doing Schlager things, but it missed. And
Ooh, catching
Yes,
IS-9
is
NES.
gone.
Yeah.
that is not what you want to see as a small ship to get caught in this start.
Looks like Schlager wins the Big Bang battle.
Yeah, it's good at dodging and it's also quite heavily armored, so that's to be expected. Gamma Ray closing in.
Getting
Ooh, the
remarkably
bounce back.
close.
But 10 Tinkerell shields, gotta remember that.
Starch is getting taken out by Anti-X.
We haven't seen that yet.
Ooh, now if only Gamma Ray can regenerate its AI trigger in time so it can charge in and stay putting pressure on Schlager.
bang, bang, bang. Schlager fires off round after round, but Gamma Ray just about spins out of it.
Ooh, getting some good hits in here.
Bias, you
Bang,
cursed my
bang,
ship, man.
bang, 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 bang. Goodbye.
And there it goes. We are Slegion
Ouchie.
taking the first round. All right, we ready for the next one?
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's go.
Ooh, goodness, Nurse is immediately killed.
Anti-X is getting into range of Destart, is getting turned around by Kaboom here, and interesting, has a good firing angle on that ship.
Kaboom's under heavy fire right now. God, why does Schlager keep picking on Gamma Ray?
Gamma Ray is a good distractor, good target, but Schlager takes out Interesting before it can do any serious damage.
What is going on?
Antimatter.
Oh my goodness. Schlager's styling on him?
Yeah, as soon as upping its style rank, I'm gonna realize that it's not in the right game.
Huge damage from Antimatters coming in right towards the core, taking out the core of Destartes.
A lot of range. A lot of range.
And there we go. We Are Slegion wins this match, and Destartes and its alliance, or should I say, Nova Kill, is out. All right, well, let's go to
Goodbye. Well
Kaboom
played.
for some analysis.
Here we saw Destartes really do its best, but unfortunately, it all comes down to the matchup against Anti-X. It just wasn't able to kill Anti-X. It did great against the small ships. Every single time it did great against the small ships, but it just couldn't kill Anti-X fast enough, and it couldn't survive long enough. If it was just a little heavier as a brawler, it would have worked perfectly, but unfortunately, this was just the wrong matchup for it. Anti-X is one of the strongest brawlers in this entire DDRT. It just didn't stand a chance from the start. The rest of the alliance did the best job it could given the circumstances, but especially Schlager taking out Gamma Ray consistently really made it to where there were no distractions available for Anti-X, and that really sealed the fate of this fleet.
Yeah, well, thank you for the analysis, Kaboom. And now we are moving on to the finals of the losers bracket. Am I right, Duke?
That is correct, and this is a match we have seen previously. We have Innuendo up against We Are Slegion. Will We Are Slegion get its revenge and change its fate?
All right, well, let's see what happens.
I'm interested to see Helio fight Schlager, the two kiters. Though Schlager does have more skirmishing patterns. It's behavior as well.
Ooh! Two ships quickly destroyed on We Are Slegion's alliance.
That's Unstable Mayfly, right?
That is.
Right there, yes.
Yeah.
We've seen this
Yes,
match out
it's
played
taken
before.
Fire.
Innuendo, not specifically Innuendo, but members of the Innuendo alliance firing in an L pattern against Anti-X, making it difficult to dodge.
Firing from the back is often a death sentence.
Especially when you're a very stacked, well-executed, recessed core brawler like Anti-X.
Yeah, taking Nang fire from all angles.
Deweese firing from a longer range with DPS from those longbows. With a disconnected core, as you can see in the upper left. Ejected, it looks like, that I missed.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I have no idea. Looks like it's trying to
Deweese
regenerate
has
some
been
condensers.
neutralized. For now.
I mean, no disrespect, Legions.
But there we go. PIDs were not tuned on enough. But there we go. Innuendo taking the first round on destruction. All right, are you ready for round number 2?
I believe we are.
Let's go. Schlager firing at Helio, having a little duel with the best anti-Big Bang in the competition.
Both very dangerous small spheres.
Ooh, but Helio
But it
getting
gets
too
caught.
close to Anti-X.
Ooh. Just about scraping by though. Do we... Anti-X always seems to get caught in that L-shaped pattern.
Wow, Mayfly takes out ISINES by
Ooh,
itself.
Schlogger. Looks like it's just Schlogger and Anti-X right now.
Mayfly is a
Bullied by
force of
Mayfly,
nature.
Dweezed as always. I mean, Anti-X.
Schlogger almost getting caught on Anti-X.
But it's a good dodger.
And indeed, it's successfully dodging all of these little things, all these little
Look at
bursts
it
of
go.
fire.
Could it hit Mayfly there? Oh! Goodbye.
This spells the end.
Well played, Schlegion. You did very well.
All three members of Innuendo fire at We Are Schlegion's last remaining ship as it enters the last stage of its life cycle.
Looks like it's pretty decisive victory. I'm proud of Schlegion. They did well. Especially considering it doesn't seem to be a good matchup, but goodbye. Condolences.
Ouch, yeah. Well, there we go. Innuendo taking the match on Destruction with 3 Big Bang ships. Alright, well, let's go into some analysis for this match. Are you ready, Kaboom?
As always.
Nice.
Here we saw again just getting overwhelmed with this Big Bang. It's proven to be an incredibly potent strategy. The biggest thing I can say here is Velatica round 2 sweep.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough. Innuendo's gonna have to beat you twice in order to win.
That's the end again of the losers bracket. So yeah. All right, well, are we ready to see the finals of this freaking tournament?
All right,
100%.
make it quick.
Duke's cowering in fear.
Let's begin the finals, and who do we have in our final match?
We've got Growzone and Innuendo, rank 1 versus rank 7.
All right, well, let's begin the finals of the tournament.
I'm nervous.
And again, we have to make sure that we understand what's going to happen here. If Growzone wins this match, then Innuendo is out, but Innuendo must knock out Growzone twice in order for it to succeed at winning the tournament. So let's see what happens in this match. Have we got a good song? Let's put on a good song and increase the volume a little bit.
Ooh, what's it gonna be?
Last Stand, of course.
Of course, as tradition allows.
As tradition requires.
Of course, yeah.
I'm not going to turn the music too much, that'll be annoying. Okay, well, are we ready, folks? I'm ready.
Ready as I'll ever
Seeing a lot
be.
of Velatica hard carry.
Spam Velatica
You've
hard
jinxed
counter
me,
into
guys.
chat if you want Growzone.
Velatica moving in close to all 3 members of the enemy alliance,
I
not
love you,
destroying a
Velatica.
single one, but getting destroyed by Mayfly.
She provided a distraction, and a very necessary one too. Slow zone closing in with his big boar, looking for a meal.
Dweezed being
Dweezed
illegal in
is
DRRT.
Yeah, Mayfly dies to slow zone every single time.
Furnished here.
Dweezed is being
Substantial amounts
a
of Daka, but more
baseball bat.
I have no idea why this ship is actually spinning. It might have gotten Velatica'd.
Intentional spinner.
Intentional spinners, again.
Intentional spinner.
Are
No,
illegal.
I think we got. I can qualify Innuendo.
Helio might get the kill here on Furnish. This is the best that Innuendo has looked so far against Slow Zone's team.
Growzone.
Interesting
but
note here. That's
caught
death.
and eaten. Nom nom nom. A very tasty little of juicy nutrients.
Dweezed has carried in the past.
It has, but it's up against literally slow zone.
Unfortunately, it just doesn't have the Daka to get through Slow Zone's armor, which means it's not going to be able to get furnished in time before it regenerates. This looks like the end.
She's slow in my zone.
Innuendo coming in from the left. pushing Deweese into the arena border deep, right over Slowzone's top.
Deweest is a little too heavy for Slow Zone's lasers.
Yeah, and Slowzone's a little slow to catch up.
Oh, getting dangerous.
I don't know.
That core.
Oh, the points are very close. Deweest might take it on points.
Oh god.
I can't believe it.
Come on.
Oh my goodness.
Luis
Slowzone
reversal
do the
happening.
crowd.
Oh no.
No,
no.
we're getting sucked in.
No.
Slowzone
Getting close.
Oh.
And the
That is
Grozone takes
Slowzone
the first
being
round.
slow.
Amazing.
Why didn't Deweest run away? I
Too
don't get
scared.
it.
Tried.
Paralyzed.
Slowzone's fast.
Slowzone is much faster.
Slow Zone's fast.
Right.
Deweest is faster.
Also, but that's
Normally, yes, but it got a slow start. Thrusters scale with how long. The way thrusters work is the longer you fire them, the more momentum you will get out of them. And Slowzone's thrusters were firing for longer versus
Yeah,
Deweese
Big Bang's
just
got
started
like
firing.
the B thrusters though. They're instant.
It helps, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't save it. Like the thruster calculation remains the same. It doesn't make their thrusters work immediately.
They've got the boost coefficient.
They do, but the problem is Furnish provided enough of a distraction that the ship stayed still long enough that
Furnished was dead.
Furnished was dead, but the ship needed to turn.
I call hacks. Deweest could have had that.
What do you
Red
think
card,
that
red
the-
card.
the- what do you think that the innuendo team tastes like? They look like some sort of sweets, but also knowing that the fact that they are literally a cock and balls.
I mean, they're bursties, so my best guess is gushers, because that's what they look like.
I mean, no, but
Oh my God.
it's a cock and ball. You
This
surely
is
don't taste like semen.
this is the least sportsmanlike DRT has ever been.
Again, I'm just going to pretend, guys, I'm a teenager. My prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed yet.
Man, I thought I was gonna get
You
at
ain't
least
got a
one
cortex
match.
on your body that's developed, boy.
Oh god. Well, shall we move on to the next match before the innuendos continue?
Yes, please put me out of my misery.
All right, starting us off, Velatica destroying Helio very early on. Or not Helio, the other one, that's small and
Mayfly.
ball-shaped.
Unstable Mayfly. It's called Unstable Mayfly for a reason, not stable.
Helio got away from the lasers on Slow Zone, which is pretty
The only thing
rare.
that's not stable for
Not
Velatica
anymore,
is our
though.
Relationship with her.
It's running.
Slow Zone.
I think Helio can win this 1v1,
It could,
but it won't.
but you hit Slow Zone. It's Slow Zone, bro.
Oh my goodness, Deweest?
I'm gonna be
Deweese
real.
got battered.
There's no
on,
way.
Furnished.
There's no way you kill Slowzone from the
Hey,
front.
where's Velatica? Is she gonna circle around?
Given
Yeah,
enough
where
time,
is
Helio
Blanco?
does kill
She's
Slow
coming.
Zone from the front.
She's definitely going to come. Yeah.
The only ship that's ever.
And there we go, the Grozone winning the finals of the Debris Regional Reassembly Tournament. Well, that's not how I'm naming these anymore. It's the 2023 Summer DRRT.
At twitch.tv/debrisfield.
There we go. That's the tournament. Let's get into the analysis of this last match. Are you ready for this, Kaboom?
So, I would like to say that I genuinely thought Velatica was going to be a meme ship. But she
Smells like
not
cider in
only
here.
did me proud, she came in clutch. Like, every single match. You're right, she actually did make a good distraction for Yenyu and myself to just start cleaning up. The problem here was just the HP disparity. There was too much HP on my fleet, and my ships were just a little too fast. This should have been much more of a nail-biter than it was, and then Velatica just came in and cleaned up a single ship, and that's all that it needed to do. Because then Yenyu and myself would never be distracted, we'd each have our own targets, and we'd just chase each other into the arena border until we caught something. That's just what happened.
in
Commentator bias.
Hey. Commentate. Wait, what do you mean commentator? Commentator hacks? Yeah, no, sorry guys. This is actually
Yeah, we
Winter
actually
DRRT
hacked into
2020.
Debris
Yeah.
tournament and hacked into Reassembly.
Yeah, that was Time Traveler Salmon. That's actually Velatiga 2. My bad, guys.
Yeah, they're in mode 1. They're actually controlling the ships right now.
Yeah, no, my
Here,
Xbox controller.
can you do a Helio versus Slow Zone 1v1?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that
How
in
do you
our
think
after
that's
party.
gonna go? How do you
Dude,
think
you can do it a 3v1. It's gonna end the same way.
Yeah.
No, the 1v1. I think you'll be surprised.
It just puts
I
the
hope
Velatigas
that I
in there.
will.
All right, well, I should wrap everything up with a statement before we move to the fun random matches after party. So, well, that's it. That is the 2023 Debris Regional Reassembly Tournament Summer. Whew, I've been working on this thing for months. I did not get everything that I wanted out of it in terms of the titles, but oh man, we still made an improvement, and this was one of, I think, by far, the best one yet. We have incredible work on stream from Salmon. Thank you very much for that, by the way.
You're welcome. I'm just glad to be a part of this. This is very sort of memorable experience. Not something I'm gonna forget for like the rest of my life.
I'm
I'm
glad.
just so happy to be a part of this team. Also, can you put up the logo?
I'm
The
glad.
Grozone logo.
The Grozone, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
Put it up.
I'll find it. Where is it? But
It's in I'll send it in here. Hold on. In the general chat.
and while you do that, I just, I really appreciate everyone who submitted this time. Oh man, this was fun. And also, I should also say, commentary on the stream handled by all 4 of us, right? Duke Slayer, Kaboom, Salmon, all of you guys did a fucking awesome job.
Thank you.
So much fun. Great analysis by Kaboom. Excellent color commentary by the remaining 2. You two, that did not sound personal. And just, it was great. I'm so glad that this worked out so well.
Yeah, I had a really good time.
All right, well, here's our zone here. I'm going to real quick find a place
Replace
for
the
it.
logo with it.
Replace the logo.
I can't do that.
Oh. No, I can send you the version of the without,
Erase it.
without Darkstar in it. Hold on, where is that? No Darkstar starting soon. Here we go. I can send you this version.
Wait, I gotta put an image source. 1 moment. Downloads.
Oh, you do got the
Downloads?
Risk of Rain 2 music.
Sure do.
I'm so happy about this. Like I was just as much as Kaboom expecting Velatiga to be a good beam, and oh my god, I turned this around.
Hey, your ship did
I
well.
did give you like pretty much the perfect alliance to have it fight.
I was so surprised.
It's true. But yeah, dude, it did a good job. It was a good member of that alliance. Hey, look, you can see it on stream now.
Wait, you can put the starting soon without DRRT. Okay, I'm just kidding. Wait, can we put
Oops,
up
yeah.
the Brad wipe? Can we show them the Brad wipe?
I can't put on the Brad wipe.
Can't do the bread wipe.
I want to show them the Brad wipe.
Right,
Yeah.
well, there we go. I got
Stonks.
my thing now.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's what this entire thing was. Stonks.
Yeah. The whole point was it's meant to be like stonks because we're growing. We're growing our business.
Net gains. All I
We
saw
do,
were net gains.
All I saw was net gains.
The Helio
It was a single
versus
match.
Slow Zone 1v1.
But one of those
Oh, yeah.
matches, I would like to point out, came so close.
Oh my god, yeah. I think that was
Slow
against
King. Slow King, you made a
was-
deadly alliance. I want
was
to see more of
terrifying.
it.
That was nail biting experience. I'm looking for a word. There's a certain butt clenching. No, that's not the one. What was where is the tense? I'll just say that much.
Tense.
I can't find a good word.
It sure was tense, I'll say that. But I'm also going to close off all of my scripts that are working nonstop to make this thing work. The
God.
state of the playoffs matches tab in the sheet is over. It's done. And, well, there we go. That wraps up the official playoffs of the 2022 Summer DRRT. Whew.
Good
All
job,
right.
Kaboom.
Yeah, dude, you made, not only is your ship like what your ranking score is above, you said 3.5, it's like 3.7 or something nuts.
Yeah.
That means that on average, you won the match and destroyed 2 other ships. Pretty much. That's what it means. And that is unbelievable behavior from a ship in this tournament. And hey, with that rank 1, you can pick quite the banger of an alliance. And, well, also showing us that rank isn't everything when it comes to picks. It's all about the alliance composition. So yeah, let's begin our after party.
Yeah, but it looks like they're about to die. So is it a good competition?
Oh my goodness.
Very dangerous sniper.
Slow Zones Alliance now has an incredible amount of HP to chew through.
Ooh, core snipe with Velonica. Oh, and there we go. Right into the maw of Slow Zone. Firing at each other with a bunch of different weapons. And
Getting swatted, but you gotta go fast.
Not only good teamwork on the Blue Alliance's part,
Project Lionfish, picked by Splinter.
And takes so much fire from Tenditers.
Velonica destroying Tigreal at home. First of all, getting close, distracting the member of the enemy alliance.
That's death.
And eaten.
High armor. The finals of the Debris Regional Reassembly Tournament